Hello and welcome back to the channel. Yes, I'm still going ahead with this. I just kind of slacked off a little bit low key. I actually fully filmed like a whole vlog slash day in my life thing like 3 weeks ago, literally the day after I uploaded my last video. But yeah, no, it was actually my dad's birthday a few weeks ago. And it was his first birthday since he passed away. And yeah, that actually messed me up a fair bit, like way more than I thought it would. So I don't know, just like every time I sat down to edit, I just couldn't do it, and I was just in a bit of a weird headspace there for a while. One thing that actually gave me comfort was rewatching this interview I filmed of him, like from 2017 when he almost died one time, and we had to get an ambulance and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just so thankful that I filmed that. And we actually got to play that at his funeral, which was amazing. A lot of people came up to me saying they've never, seen that at a funeral before, and that they, want to do that for their own loved ones, which I think, I highly recommend. Because yeah, you just never know when someone's gonna go, I guess, or when you're gonna, hear their voice again. And yeah, in the interview, I just asked him like so many questions that I guess I've always wanted to ask him. And yeah, it's just nice to have that all on camera. But yeah, where am I going with this? Speaking at his funeral was probably, I would say, the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And I was actually fully so close to even backing out of speaking, like even on the day. But weirdly, I did end up speaking. And I'm so glad I did. And weirdly, I feel like that was the thing that gave me confidence to just start speaking in, like in front of the camera, and just, I don't know, it was weird. So yeah, I highly recommend, if you have a family member that's passed away, I highly recommend speaking at the funeral, for them and also for yourself. After rewatching the video I filmed of Dad, I don't know, I just had the sudden urge to like post it online. I don't know. I feel like it could like help people or inspire people to do the same thing with their loved ones, before it's too late. So in this video, I'm gonna just post my speech at his funeral, and then followed by that will be the video interview with him, which we played right after my speech at the funeral as well. So yeah, I don't know if this is weird to post. It might be weird, but maybe it could help someone out there who is wondering what to say on their speech or whatever. Yeah, it's kind of crazy when you get thrust into that. I feel like you're not really taught how to do it. But yeah, anyway, this could be a weird video, but enjoy. My next video is going to be the vlog that I filmed like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then it'll just be back to normal stuff, I guess. Enjoy. Hello everyone, and thank you all for being here to celebrate Dad's life. I'm Michael, the latest iteration of the Wolf Deck offspring. And to be honest, I actually don't really enjoy public speaking. Unfortunately, I didn't inherit that skill and joy from Dad, like Susie did. And I'm also not the best when it comes to opening up and speaking about matters of emotion, which I may have inherited from Dad. So yeah, this should be interesting. Because of that, I'm going to keep it pretty short and sweet and follow it up with how I normally express emotions, which is through art and media. in the form of a video interview I filmed with him in 2017. Yeah. So I'm going to start off with a little story that occurred while we were living in Taiwan. One in which I feel encapsulates Will's outlook on life and who he is from my perspective. So yeah, here we go. One warm weekend morning, we were out hiking up one of the many beautiful mountains in Taipei. Apparently the mountains in Taiwan are quite similar to New Zealand's, which probably made him feel like he was a little kid again, hiking with his brothers through the woods. But alas, it was me, my mom Rosita, our dog Orbit, and Dad, walking along this narrow pathway. On one side of us lay a tiny flowing creek and the face of the mountain, and on the other side of the path, a steep and sharp drop-off, down to one's probable death. Eventually, we were met by an intimidating, shiny metal fence blocking the creek and the footpath, and on the fence lay great big red writing in Mandarin. Now, Mom, being responsible and respectful, said, "Oh look, we have to turn back and go home. There's a no entry sign on the fence." But Dad, on the other hand, grabbed one glance at the sign, then looked back at us and said, "Yeah, but it's written in Chinese. None of us can read it, not even Orbit." So obviously, if you know Dad, the next scene is us taking turns carefully climbing around the fence, one by one, trying not to fall to our deaths, passing the dog around the fence, hanging over the steep drop-off, and continuing our hike up to summit the mountain. Now, I'm not necessarily advocating this kind of behavior, but I do think it demonstrates his approach to life. One of not allowing societal constructs to stop him from seeing the beauty and wonder of the world, whether it be his restrictions as a child in the Brethren, or a harsh metal fence on a misty mountain in Asia. Perhaps it was his uphill battle upbringing that made him so good at overcoming both mountains and obstacles throughout his life. I have a close friend from Taiwan who also lost a father recently. His father was also an athletic man and had even qualified for the Olympics as a runner in his youth. He was probably about my whole lifetime younger than Wolf, which is 31 years. But he would say whenever he was exercising and feeling tired, he would picture Wolf and see his perseverance and grit, and that would be enough to keep him going. The day after I found out about Dad's passing, I decided to go for a run to clear my head or to help process it. Either way, I ended up completing the longest run I've ever done in my life, coming in just shy of 18 kilometers, which doesn't seem like much compared to the marathons Dad used to run, but it was nice to feel his spirit pushing me further than I had ever gone before, much like it has for many others throughout his life. As a kid, at times it was difficult having such an intelligent, outgoing, fit, go-getter for a parent. It could be hard to live up to his standards he had for his life. I remember being called lazy, which I probably was at the time, to be fair, and I did have some time of resentment towards him. But thinking back and reframing, I can understand that because of the things he wasn't allowed to do as a child, he wanted me to be able to try anything and everything in life. Sometimes this was whether I wanted to or not, and there were times where I hated this, but I realize now it's one of the things I'm most grateful for in life, and in having him as a father. I was swimming, hiking, seeing the world, skiing, playing multiple instruments, speaking multiple languages, doing every sport and trying every food. And this zest for life is something I still carry and will carry on for the rest of my years, not just for myself, but also for him. And I think living life to the fullest and making every day count is the best way for me to keep him alive in my heart and mind. Dad had been old my whole life, often older than my friends' grandparents. But growing up, I never felt that or noticed it, probably because he was fitter and wittier than most of my friends' parents, who were decades younger than him. I'd also seen him survive so many things, such as a head-on collision with a truck while cycling, that I just started to assume he would live forever. I did, however, have to get an ambulance called after he collapsed one time in 2017, and did grow to have some anxiety about him passing away, or when it would be, or how I would handle it. And this prompted me to film this interview with him we're about to play. Mom would always remind me that Dad loves me. He just shows it in different ways. And I do believe that. I can see it in the experiences he gave me, the lessons and the adventures. He had so much love to give the world that he even had 3 wives. But we never really spoke too deeply, to be honest. So I took it upon myself to write out some questions and film this interview with him. I asked him questions about life, love, and things we hadn't truly discussed properly. In the video, he mentioned living for the day, the importance of every day, enjoying the day, and having a satisfying day. I realized perhaps that's the key to having a satisfying life, and something I would strive for as he did. And so here's to Wilf and to having a satisfying day.
Now, how are we going to introduce it and start it? Let's think what's going to be said first. Start with my prelude. Say I've got some questions here from Michael's Father's Day card before getting on to them.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Now about life. Advice about life. Life is sometimes difficult, sometimes full of love and excitement. Enjoy it. Do not ignore your past. Record your memories and plan your future, but live in the present. What's the best thing to do today? Use the serenity prayer. Accept the situation or take action to change it. Let me give you 3 things from my father. Would it be all right if everybody did that? You know, I think he said that when I'm throwing some litter on the road or something. And another one he had was, if something's worth doing, it's worth doing well. And another one, so you don't become a perfectionist, he said, the man who hasn't made a mistake never made anything. A is for attitude. Have a flexible attitude. You can change it. You can take control of your attitude. The second thing starts with B, and it's beauty. Beauty in life, in art, in music, in nature, in people. This is important for your life, to make your life beautiful, to enhance your appreciation of beauty. Write down every night the most beautiful thing you saw that day. So I did that for a while, it's good. In my experience, confidence grows with age and as you accumulate successes. Use it to eliminate fears. Fears are bad. There's a saying from Henry Ford, I think it is, if you think you can do it, you can. If you think you can't do it, you can't. Excitement and enthusiasm. 2 things. Add them to your life as required. Use them to banish boredom if you're ever struck with boredom. Do something exciting or scary. F is for friends. No, I don't have to tell you why friends are important, and I think you've got a lot of friends. There's a saying, I went out to look for friends, I couldn't find any. I went out to be a friend, I found lots. There's 2 F's, the next F's for fun. Fun, humour, laughter, smiles, whenever you can. Even add a little bit of irresponsibility, like after the hash run, let their hair down. Be generous with this aspect of life. Health, look after yourself, eat well, exercise, avoid drugs or addiction. L is for love. Love and be loved, if possible, unconditionally and with complete trust. There are things out there that we can't understand, and life also has a mystery aspect to it. If you go back to the beginning, I got this out of one of Rosemary's school textbooks. If you go back to the beginning, either something has always existed or something came from nothing. Both of these things are impossible. Therefore, it's impossible for us to be here, but we are here. So you can be tolerant of I can be tolerant of everyone's belief and differences. People with strong self-control are people who succeed in life. So that's a desirable thing to have, but it may need work. Okay, now we come to happiness. The pursuit of happiness is one of the human rights in the US Constitution, but pursuing happiness directly is futile. Rather, it follows as a consequence of what you do. Something good, or if you help other people, you'll be happy. If you do something bad that hurts other people, you'll be miserable. Happiness also follows from doing enjoyable things like making love, drinking wine, eating ice cream or chocolate, or having a massage, or even going for a run. Now these things, enjoy these things, but be aware that the happiness you get from those is not as long-lasting as the happiness you get from helping someone else, from achieving something good, from loving and being loved, from expressing love and gratitude. That happiness from those things is a more lasting happiness. Now, it's my observation that you have inherited a happy and optimistic disposition, which makes it more likely you're going to have a happy life. Oh, I am proud of how all my children have turned out. Your words inside the car, Susie's words at my 80th birthday party, and Peter once told me when he read something about me in the paper, it makes me proud that you're my dad. All these things are wonderful rewards for me. I'm proud of my own achievements. I'm proud of my children and grandchildren. It makes me very happy to see how well all the grandchildren are turning out. Now, whilst this also makes me proud as well as happy, I recognize that my contribution is rather small. There are other people involved in bringing up, but it's great to see them doing well. I'm also proud of my success in my retirement of doing another degree at ACAP, and I'm especially proud of what I achieved in 2015, where I was studying at college for the coaching subject. I was doing my placement at the Salvos in Canberra, and I was training for the World Championship Triathlon in Mexico, all at the same time, and success came in all three. So that's something I'm proud of. There are more things in my life that I'm proud of. If I go back, achievements in sport, achievements at work, I really like achievements. And I'm so glad you didn't ask me to list the things I'm not proud of.
How would you like to be remembered?
Without even thinking about that, straight away it came out. I would like to be remembered for my ability to enjoy life and for my ability to make other people happy. But on reflecting about that, I've not always succeeded at enjoying life or making other people happy. I have many things to be thankful for. I was dealt a good hand, but not perfect. I made the most of it, but not always. sometimes I was able to inspire others. I owe a lot to AA and am amazed how unexpectedly good life in recovery has been. The worst thing in my life was Jenny's death. The best was my last drink in June '87, because without that, all the good things that happened after that would not have taken place. Okay, that's all I've got for that. But I have another paragraph, not one of your questions, called Remaining Challenges. Do you want to hear that?
Yeah, sure.
Remaining Challenges. There's a song by Jim Steineman which includes the line, "The future ain't what it used to be." That applies to me. The carcass is getting closer to its use-by date. The doctor said Michael's decision to get Dr. Jeremy to send me to the hospital could have been a life-saving one. I may not be able to do any more triathlons now after my recent stint in hospital. It's what it feels like to me. This is sad because the world champs are coming up. Maybe it's good to have a few challenges still ahead, and there's probably more coming that we can't see yet. Living for the day becomes even more crucial. Today I had a good day. I had morning coffee with my B&B swimming group friends. Then I did 4 hours on the telephone at Lifeline. Then I went for a swim at the Manly Boy Charlton heated pool. I'm not yet back into swimming in the sea till after my heart checkup on next week. And then I had a lovely dinner prepared by Rose, and typing this up in the evening. A satisfying day makes me happy. Reading, does that show badly?
No, it's okay.
It's
Yeah,
okay?
That's fine. Yeah. Awesome.
Put it on the TV.
Thank you very much.
Can we watch
Oh.
it on TV?
Thank you for asking me to do that. I'm honoured. I like it.
No worries.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.